I ain't hungry. First, I always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving.
Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling. We're drooling. We're ready. We're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas. We hate you. Racing snow. The Eagles train to go. The Eagles win.
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them. It's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us. I promise you.
What is up, my brews? My bird brews. We are back. It's another Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speaks here. Today we're joined with John. What's going on, man?
How we doing?
Doing great, man. A little bit of this holiday little slumber going on today. Just kind of relaxing, getting caught up on some birds news, keeping an eye on the news line. But other than that, man, chilling. I saw yesterday you put a little picture up of a turkey guy. Cooked a little turkey, did you?
Yep, me and the wife did a little turkey action, injected it, just didn't smoke it, just cooked it in the oven.
What's that process like?
I had a bunch of garlic and butter and herbs that were like that cooked down in like liquid form, and then I just used like a basically a injector, it's like a syringe, and just pumped it full of all that shit, and then put some butter under the skin. Then towards the end, put some butter on the skin, and I'll tell you what, man, it came out really good. It's the one of the most moist turkeys I've ever had. Which kind of makes me wonder, like, what the fuck people are doing half the time when the shit's all dry. It's like, damn, this was easy.
Yeah, so. I think, yeah, man, it looked from the photos you sent, it looked real moist. It looked really good. And man, I guess, is turkey just a traditionally like dry thing? I mean, like, yeah, a lot of turkey does dry out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lean, dry meat. I just feel like maybe most people aren't good at cooking it, I guess. I don't know.
How long did it take you in the oven?
I think we put it in at 11:30 and it was ready to go by like 4.
Oh, that's not bad.
I forget how many pounds it was, but
love that. Yeah, it looks great. I'll have to mess around with a turkey one of these days.
Kind of a note. Well, you know how like when you're at Giant and you buy your groceries there every week, they give you a free turkey every year for Thanksgiving because you spent so much money.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's get this thing out of the freezer because it's taking up half the space. Yeah. So
this huge turkey.
It was gigantic.
Man. Yeah, I think people deep fry those sometimes. I don't know about
they're
that.
good deep fried. Oh, they're good like that.
I've never had it. It looks like an operation like set up for failure.
No, as long as you're not a little bit of common sense, I mean, obviously you don't want to put it in there frozen and blow a wall out of your house, but
I think that's what people do. Yeah.
Well, can't fix stupid.
You can't fix stupid. And with that, man, what are we doing? Birds news wise. It looks like Kenny Pickett's going. We got some stuff to talk about, but did you have anything on the last game?
As far as Kenny Pickett on the last game, his second half performance was just utterly putrid. 6 for 13, 53 yards, 57.5 passer rating. In the second half. I mean, it's just fucking awful.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I listened to his presser today, and I knew that he's been in the league for a while, but he's like, I had 7 years with the Steelers. I was like, 7 years? I thought like, wow, yeah. I was like, my God, 7 years? You can't just hop off the bench and sling some balls?
Yeah, I don't know where the time's going. It doesn't feel like 7 years.
I know. I was shocked. I was a little shocked at that.
Wow.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let me double check that while you continue.
Well, yeah, I mean, even, Russell Wilson ain't doing too good of a job slinging it out there either, so.
Yeah. Let's see.
The Eagles had 211 rushing yards last Sunday, so they now have 2,087 rushing yards in their last 10 games. First time they've averaged 200 rushing yards over 10 games since 1950.
Wow.
Sorry, I just spilled my beer all over my desk.
Ooh. What do you got?
Uh,
Beast? Beast Light?
No, I got Miller Lights.
Ooh, classic. Cold, refreshing Miller Lite. You know, when I spill
Crisp.
beer on my desk, I want it to be cold, refreshing Miller Lite.
That's right. Saquon Barkley 68-yard touchdown is his fourth of the year of at least 60 yards, tying the NFL record with Jim Brown and Adrian Peterson. Now has 8 career TD runs of at least 60 yards. His 1,838 rushing yards are the 9th most in NFL history through 15 games. The only back in NFL history with 1,800 yards, a 5.9 average or higher, and 13 TDs through 15 games. So we said on the last pod, he needs 268 yards in the last 2 games to break the rushing title. And then
he might. There's definitely a path for him to get it. I mean, yeah,
for sure. I mean, he needs 134 yards if he has a big game this week, or even, mediocre game, and then the following if they play him. It really depends on, if we win this game against the Cowboys, who just dethroned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So
yeah, we can get into it, but for sure, I mean, if we have something to play for against the Giants, which will be an absolute pathetic position to be in, but. He might be all hands on deck. So,
yeah, it's definitely possible. And well, let me do this, and then I want to say one other thing. But his 2 rushing TDs Sunday gave him 13, and Hurts has 14 on the year. The only team in history with 2 players rushing for 13 or more TDs. However, the Lions could join them with Montgomery and Gibbs, but I think Montgomery's still hurt. So, but I did want to say, the Eagles are still in it for the race for the number 1 seed, as sad as that sounds.
Yeah.
There's a way, and it's the Eagles win out, the Lions lose to the Niners, the Vikings lose to the Packers, and then the Vikings beat the Lions on the last game of the year.
It's not that crazy. It's not, these are just simple wins and losses. Simple wins and losses at this point.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hold out hope personally.
No.
I mean, like this is the swing. Like, we were like last year. I mean, I know last year was a completely different beast, but there was a pendulum swing. We went from like, hey, we could lock up the division and this, that, and the other thing, and then it swung, and we're now a 6 seed playing in the wild card. Which knock on wood, that doesn't happen, but it could very well. Could very well swing into the fact that we might, I hate even saying it, I mean, we could not win the division and end up being like a 5th, 6th seed at the way, it's going with Hurts out, the backup, Kenny Pickett's not looking sharp. Dallas, I mean, look, they're sitting down seedy, but they don't really have much to play for other than, spoiling the Eagles at this point. So it could very well happen that, and God, I hate saying this, but it could very well happen that we drop these 2. And look, Hurts' injury, it's a concussion, so he'll be back, for the Giants game, I would assume. But nothing's guaranteed here. If I had to run like a simulator, I think we win the division.
Yeah.
It would be absurd to drop 2 to these lowly teams. But like we've been playing down to opponents. We've been like not showing up. We've gone cold. So
yep.
it might very well come down to that Giants game. And what am I rambling about here? Right. The pendulum swing. So yeah, I mean, that's crazy at this time of year. A couple wins, losses here, a couple 2-3, and we find ourselves in a not a great position. So
yeah, for sure. It all starts with this week too. Obviously we don't have Hurts, so that's going to hurt. I don't like the idea of Pickett playing if these ribs are real bad. I mean, obviously we saw the tape today that he was round throwing. Everybody's like, man, he looks like he's all right, but it's like he's like jogging. What I mean, in practice. So I don't know how I feel about that because obviously with the ribs, it can hinder the throwing motion because it hurts a little bit. I mean, he definitely had the extra padding laced up on the ribs in practice today. So
I
we'll
I
see.
I would hope they just, and look, I'm not gonna downplay, like, okay, if you're not in the game plan, you're coming off the bench. All right, you know, you expect a little more from the guy, but like if you get a full week, so I know
For
it's
sure.
there's an asterisk here. It was Christmas and the practice schedule's off, but if they get to install some stuff and game plan with you being the guy, I mean, you would hope he's got the tools. And yeah, he was drafted in 2017, so yeah, he's going on 7 years or at 7 years. So I mean, you'd hope this guy, and look, this guy's from Ocean Township, New Jersey, grew up an Eagles fan. You tell anybody who has any sort of capabilities who grew up an Eagles fan that you have the chance to win the East, win your division at home. I mean, come on. I mean, this is like inspiring stuff. So if you can't get up and go against a lowly Cowboys team, then I mean, this is, you got problems, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially like what you said, with CD being out. But Micah goes on last week talking about it's all for pride now, and then immediately they shell Lamb to get surgery. So how much pride is it for?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. They must really think McKee's pretty bad, or he must be pretty bad to let Pickett go out there with hurt ribs and shit. So
Yeah, I would like to know a little more about that. Hopefully there's something that comes out about
and then
what
they go
think
and
of him.
then they go and sign Ian Book to the practice squad.
Good God.
I think he was a former Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, and that's purely precautionary. I mean, you need another quarterback, and he knows, but yeah, you don't like to see it. I mean, if Ian Book,
Well, listen, if Hurts ain't going, they're probably going to activate him because
for sure,
you need that emergency QB situation.
He was Notre Dame, and I don't really remember him coming out of college. I know you're a Notre Dame fan.
He was actually, I believe, I don't know if it's changed because I haven't watched a lot of Notre Dame in the recent years, but I'm pretty sure he was the longest winning tenured quarterback at a Notre Dame, but I could be wrong on that. He was pretty solid. He's pretty small though, short.
Bring up Clayton Thorson.
Oh man. No, what was the other guy? Brady Quinn.
Ugh. I thought Sudfeld kind of like rode off into the sunset, kind of like unceremoniously. He was always he always had potential.
Well, yeah, you had him, Wentz, and Foles. That was like the Christian triangle of quarterbacks, dude.
Trinity, the holy Trinity.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he was just so ingrained with those guys that once there was turnover with Wentz and Foles, it was kind of like, all right, it just kind of move on from you.
I mean, you could do no wrong.
He had to go do some mission work in
the Peace Corps.
The Peace Corps. Build a couple churches, some running water.
Yeah,
man. But yeah, anything else from Commanders?
AJ Brown with his 97 receiving yards. Brown is over 1,000 for the third straight year. Only him and Mike Quick are the only two Eagles to do this. Mike Quick actually had 5 in a row, so AJ's got 2 more to go to dismantle that. But AJ is now the 9th in NFL receiving yards, and his 86.9 yards per game is the 4th highest. He also played every snap on offense.
Beast.
Third time in his career doing that, and it's the second time with the Eagles. The offensive line also played all 74 snaps. Moving on to defense, we have Reed Blankenship and CJ Gardner-Johnson both picked up their 4th picks of the year. First time in 30 years the Eagles have had 2 safeties with 4 interceptions. Blankenship's 8 interceptions are the most by an Eagle in his first 39 games since Eric Allen had 13, and then his 7 since opening day last year is 5th among all safeties. What is his 5 interceptions since the start of last year, the most by any undrafted player. Nolan Smith in the last 11 games, 6.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 11 quarterback hits, 15.8 pass rush win percent, 13th in the league. So he's come on.
Yeah.
This one's a sad one. First time in 25 years the Eagles lost a game in which they had 5 takeaways.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's you can't even fathom it.
Well, like I said, when you look at Pickett's second half, passing yards and they barely could run the ball, I think they had 16 possessions throughout the entire game. Like that's a lot of possessions.
Yeah.
After or that 25 years that it was with Doug Peterson as the quarterback and they lost to the Giants. It was in 1999.
Puggy P eating ice cream.
Yeah. Also, the first game in 25 years they lost after scoring 21 points in the first quarter. Last time it happened was the first ever game Andy Reid coached. Zach Bond, Blankenship. Yeah, Zach Bond, Blankenship, and Quinion played every snap on defense. Carter played 65 of 68. And last thing I got is special teams. This shit drove me crazy. I know I talked about it last week, but I have a little bit of stats to go on so that I can, kind of explain how crazy it, I was talking last week. But on 8 kickoffs during the game, Braden Mann only averaged 55 yards. So most of that averages each kickoff basically averaged to land at the 10-yard line. On 7 kicks, the Commanders averaged 29.4 yards, which also means 7 drives began just inside the 40-yard line. 2 of their fourth quarter drives began on the 39 and the 43. And those were touchdown scores by the Commanders.
Terrible.
So, yeah. Obviously, his first kick was short of the landing zone, so that gave him the ball at the 40, first kick of the game. And I'm saying all this, too, because they're actually letting Elliott practice kickoffs now. They were doing that to try to, I guess, not overuse him. But, I guess in justifying saying that, maybe they're overusing Braden Mann. You know what I mean? Now maybe he's tired and can't get it into the fucking end zone.
I just don't get the whole what's the overusing. I mean, like for the history recent. I mean, like that's your kind of job, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, where's this like now Elliott's in practicing kickoffs. It's like, well, what a novel concept. I mean,
not only that, like you're bringing him in cold to kick 50-yarders, and he's not even kicking like kickoffs.
Exactly,
that don't make no sense either. So, Jake Elliott's kicked off once this year. It was a touchback. Mann has 84 kickoffs and only 56 touchbacks. Just 5 out of the 18 kickoffs in the last 3 games were touchbacks for Mann. So maybe he's tired, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Then we said about McCaffrey. He had the 184 kick return yards, the most return yards on the Eagles in 12 years since David Wilson of the Giants had 217 in 2012. And McCaffrey's 30.7 yards were the second highest in a game this year.
It just seemed like a perfect storm. Like the things that needed to go wrong, like special teams is such like you expect that to be there, right? But when it starts going awry, I don't know. It just like on a game that comes down to, you talk about the drop, but the game comes down to them scoring the final seconds, winning touchdown. You kind of look at those things under a microscope. Like, hey man, if we have an adequate kicker back there, maybe they don't start at the 40 and drive.
Well, yeah,
down
you would think.
Yeah.
That drove me insane. I mean, I remember texting you guys during the game. I was like, what the hell is going on here, man? Like, this is crazy. I mean, at one point they were receiving kicks at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that was bad. And then they said he didn't do well in the conditions. Well, the other guy's kicking in the conditions. I mean, this is football. If you can't handle the conditions, then.
Yeah, and to give it a little bit, I guess, to Mann, like they weren't kicking him into the end zone either, really. So, but it wasn't 10 and 15-yard line, it was 5-ish. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is that, that'll be an emphasis. And like you've mentioned and we've mentioned on here, that maybe this loss is a tune-up. Put some emphasis on that special teams. Realize that can lose you games. Maybe they got
absolutely.
too comfortable.
That was evident. That definitely hurt us. I mean, we lost pretty much in all aspects. We were super sloppy in every aspect, offense, defense, special teams, but it was very apparent to me that the special teams was hurting us.
Yeah. And I'll say this though, kind of just talking about, the loss and the tune up and whatever. I don't know. I'm a skies falling kind of guy, but I don't view this as some sort of skies falling, slam the panic button sort of loss. I don't know. And usually I am, but okay, you're without your starting quarterback. Look, if Hurts isn't in it in the playoffs, we're done anyway. So, I mean, like, we need this guy. He gets knocked out, cheap shot. So look, you'd think the team would respond better and be disciplined and all that without him, but maybe it affected him. And you look at the guys' demeanor in the locker room. They don't seem overly concerned. So it's like a pilot, as long as the pilot's steady and unconcerned, you're not going to be. And, I don't think that I'm catching that there's something wrong. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, head to the gas station, put some 95 in the Ford Festiva.
Get that thing.
And let's get out to Philadelphia on 95 and let's get it right.
I think so. I think winning the division at home against the Cowboys, and would that lock up the 2 seed?
Yes.
Okay, so we lock up this is a big win. This is a big win if we can do it with a backup.
Yeah, and then potentially you're probably going to sit your starters the next week. Unless
that's the thing.
Crazy thing that happens with the Lions. You know what I mean? But let's say this, and I think this is probably where you're going. Let's say we beat the Cowboys with Pickett here. Now all of a sudden you got Hurts almost out for like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So,
and that's what I don't want. If we win and we're going into Giants, I want him to play like a half.
Right.
Like, it's okay if you don't finish the game, but I don't want him sitting, about a month and then go trotting out there for a playoff game.
Absolutely. I'm totally with you there, but especially, let's say Barkley has a good 180 yard or whatever, game. Maybe you try to go for it there in the first half, and if it's not going, then get out of there and stay healthy. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely, man, there's some management here. This is what it comes down to. Sirianni's got to earn his paycheck. It's going to be a lot of management and getting this thing right. So.
I think speaking of Sirianni, I think he's probably going to shave his head again this week. Apparently he's in a big scuffle with Zach Ertz.
Shoo!
At the end of that last game there and had to be separated.
Dude, have you seen the video?
I didn't know.
It's so funny. So all right. So it doesn't look like much. I guess kind of what happened was Ertz he's walking up to Sirianni and he's gonna shake his hand or whatever. And he sees that Sirianni's visibly upset. So he just goes for the high five, hey, whatever. Sirianni does not like that. He takes offense to it. He thought the high five might have been a little bit too aggressive. So he starts jawing at Ertz, and I don't know if this part's accurate, but I guess he says, hey, you weren't a factor in that win, or you didn't do much, blah blah blah, and they get jawing. So take that as it is. But here's the funny part of the video that I noticed. It's like Sirianni needs a babysitter, and Big Dom is that babysitter. So Big Dom is always all around Sirianni, making sure that he's not doing anything, and he's but Big Dom goes to talk to somebody from the commander's staff. It's like the minute he turns his back and isn't watching Sirianni, you can see Sirianni just drift off and get into an argument with Ertz. It's like, dude, it's his babysitter. It's like watching a kid. Like, you turn your back and he's already getting in a fight.
He seems to be everybody's babysitter.
Yeah, he's just everyone. Yeah, like yeah,
He's walking CJ Gardner off after the ejection, and CJ's flipping the crowd off and stuff, and he's trying to keep him under control. He was trying to diffuse the Carter situation as well. So
how crazy of I went back and like kind of looked at that. Like how crazy of a thing. Like we don't have players ejected and giving the double finger to the opposed. Like that's just not something that like you see Eagles players ever really do. And we kind of like skimmed over it. But I went back. I was like, man, it's crazy. More people aren't talking about that, and it's kind of like crazy that it happened, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there'll be a fine coming down, but I don't know. Like I said last week, we're out of control. It's time to
We're
dial it back
spiraling.
in. Yeah,
Or you have to take all of this energy. You don't want to shut it down, right? In my opinion, you don't want to shut it down. You don't want to change who these guys are. It's about harnessing that energy, right? Like,
For
isn't that
sure.
what it's about? Like, isn't that what a
Absolutely.
coach needs to harness all of this energy and find a way to bring it out on the field? I mean, that's their job. So if we're not seeing that, if in the upcoming weeks and like the first couple weeks of the playoffs, if we're not seeing that, then something bad has happened here.
Yeah, yeah. It could be a spiral.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I
Go
don't
ahead,
think
go
it
ahead, man.
is, but it could be spiraling out of control, but I don't think it is. I think they're going to get it taken care of.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think last week or 2 weeks ago with the BG stuff and how they handled that, I think they're handling that stuff better. And I think I don't think we're spiraling. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, we'll see.
How do you feel about Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts gifting the offensive line golf carts?
Shoo. Wish I had one.
I don't know. I feel like they couldn't get individual. They go halves on gifts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Broke.
come on, guys.
They must both be broke.
I mean, Saquon, your offensive line helped you break the franchise rushing record, and you're going half on a gift. I don't know,
First
maybe
ever
like-
in your life. You're going
Yeah.
over 2,000 too.
Yeah, maybe a Rolex, with a nice little engraved thing would have been nice. Hey, I'm not.
Yeah, a nice spread to get them boys fed real well,
Yeah, exactly. But
Get-
that's nitpicky.
Get me in there. I'll be injecting turkeys like you never seen, dude.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, let's see. Get everyone a turkey. Takes you 40 hours to make 13 turkeys. You're just basting all week. Let's see. Brock Purdy gifted his offensive line. What was it, like Toyota?
Yeah, those were nice. Forerunners and Sequoias. Yeah, they were slick, dude.
Dude's broke. They had to donate them.
I know. Yeah, I'm sure. They probably got him on a get back type thing, or
For sure.
because he's gonna get paid after this year. So
That's crazy. I mean, look, he's making a ton of money, but like, I think it's like 900 some thousand, and like in the Bay Area, I mean, that's like, I wouldn't say that that's a lot for.
yeah, but I'm sure he has solid endorsements,
oh yeah, he's
and
not
I'm sure
hurt.
Toyota is probably one of his endorsers too. So
Yeah. Hopefully they gave him a truck.
dude, the things were nice, man. You see that red
Oh, yeah.
interior? That was looking good.
I think though someone did the math and they said they're like $50,000 trucks. So
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Toyotas are expensive now.
yeah. Oh yeah, Russell Wilson got his offensive line $10,000 Airbnb gift cards, a Louis Vuitton bag, some tequila. So,
Who the fuck wants an Airbnb gift card? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm broke, so I'd take it. But
yeah, I'll take it.
like, what NFL player really needs an Airbnb gift card? He could just spend his money.
I know. Yeah, that was a little weird one. But yeah, hey, you only get enough time for about 2 vacations a year. Now I got to figure out how to burn this $10,000
Yeah,
Airbnb.
they probably gifted them to him, and he just re-gifted them.
Yeah, it's a stocking stuffer for like his family or something. the worst move because it's in the news and everything. They're like, oh, $10,000 Airbnb gift card. Oh, a Pittsburgh Steelers themed Louis Vuitton bag. No, thank you. Thank you. Perfect.
And he gave him all that shit on Christmas just to get diced up.
Ugh. Just to play like garb. Well, yeah, I don't know. We got Cowboys coming up, and
Yep.
I feel great about it. I feel good.
Yeah, I hope they dial stuff up for Pickett to, his stuff he likes. You know what I mean? To his sweet spot. You
You give me a chance to go out there and win the division in front of the Philly crowd. I would take the snap. I would take the snap every play, and just try to dive forward as much as I could until I was just like a battered, bruised, just bag of broken bones.
Yeah, sack of potatoes.
Just sack of potatoes.
Dude, I'm jumping the wall like it's the Lambo leap.
Just like two broken femurs,
Oh.
a dislocated elbow, broken spine. Yeah.
Speaking of this week, Cowboys coming up, Thursday injury report today. Obviously Hurts was not at practice. He's probably not going to play. We all know that.
Right.
Pickett was practicing but had the wraps on his ribs. Nakobe Dean had an abdomen issue yesterday. They were all off, but they had some estimated.
Yeah.
But he practiced today. Will Shipley's concussed. I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah. When did that happen? When he fall down some stairs?
Did not practice today and is in protocol, so it's looking like he ain't gonna go. Covey and Bryce Huff are full participants, so I'm assuming Huff will be elevated this week. We definitely need him for the rotation.
He's still got a club on his hand too, I think.
Yeah, be nice to see Covey come back and return some punts. So our possible defensive rookie of the year, Nickelback, doesn't get hurt.
They were working with him on ball security. It looked like at practice today, and it might rain. It might rain on Sunday in Philly.
Jean?
They were. Yeah. Cooper. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cooper.
That's okay. I mean, look, dude, that's the only fumble I've seen. I'm okay with it. Stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
But
and if I'm not, you'll hear about it, Cooper.
For sure. I'll see you at Angelo's.
Did you bring up AJ Brown on that report? He's popping up with the knee issue again, which is kind of concerning, and he's got a brace on it.
There was nothing on the injury report. No.
Okay.
Unless I missed it. I might have missed it, but
no, I don't. Maybe it wasn't on there, but I saw that he is.
I did say he played every snap of the game, so it's like, how bad is it then?
Yeah, I mean, you get to this point of the season, everyone's hurt.
Right.
Everyone's got injuries, so as long as you can power your way through. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go out and win that division.
That's right.
Let's win that.
We well, hold on. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No. I was just gonna ramble about something, but go ahead.
Let's just look at their season statistics quick. I have it up here. Just
nice.
Averages here. Points per game. Cowboys at 21.6, Eagles at 26.8, total yards per game 328.1 to the Eagles 370.9. Passing yards per game, the Cowboys have 232.9 average and Eagles have 183.0. Rushing yards per game, that's where they're lacking in the Cowboys. They have 95.2, the Eagles have 187.9. Cowboys allow 26.9 points per game on average, and we allow 18.9. So, just a little thing to look at,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have them. We're better. We're better than them. That's what I'm trying to say. We are.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm tired of these Commanders fans. You have one good season and a glimmer of hope, and you're out there just running your mouth, talking all this smack. I kind of want to see him first game of the playoffs at home.
I absolutely want to see him after that.
I want him. And look, you look at the teams. I mean, you're in the playoffs. Every team is going to be, there's not going to be a lot of duds out there. But man, Green Bay's looking a little. Green Bay's
It's looking like
a
we might have Green Bay.
Yeah. So I don't know. You gotta.
Another thing I would like, I'd love Green Bay to be that 8 seed because then you have the Lions have to play them 3 times in a year, So it's like, are you going to beat them 3 times in a year? Maybe not.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and they don't like each other.
But I would prefer to have the Commanders.
Yeah, they're just riding high, and I would, and they're just dumb. They're just dumb. They're riding high. Well, man, anything else you got?
No, you want to do predictions, and then I do got one other thing, but it's nothing to do with the Eagles at this moment.
Yeah,
other
let's,
than
let's
go ahead.
Man, I think I was last week, what did I say? Overtime, us winning. I did call it the 30s, so I was on the wrong end of that. There was no overtime, but it went down to the final minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
Remember, Pickett's playing.
Ugh, I'm gonna say. Uh, 24-17. Just a cold cut game. Eagles handle it pretty well. 24-17.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 17 Eagles, 10 Cowboys.
I like it. Yeah, I have this feeling the defense is gonna get play inspired. Fangio didn't seem too happy with his performance, so I think he's gonna be dialed in. Play calling wise.
Last thing I got is Eagles lose a legend, Bill Berge, who lost his long battle with cancer.
I saw that. Rest in peace. Yeah, it's
Yep.
tough, especially around this time of the year. So prayers to his family and his loved ones.
Yes.
All right. Well, no, there's dude. Look, there's no good way to transition. There's no good way to transition out of that. I look. We got to do the shout out. I loved it. But what are you supposed to do, man? Prayers up.
Maybe I should have done it after the Gilberts.
That's all right.
Yeah, just ended on that.
All right, guys.
This one's for Bill. All right, this one's for Bill.
Let's win this division for Bill Berge.
All right. Rest in peace.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.